Hey everyone, Damon Stone here. How y'all doing today? I thought I'd start off by making a video talking about just about me and music and how I got into music, why I do what I do. I guess just a bit of my musical background. I guess. As early as I can remember, I always absolutely loved music. I don't really remember there being a great deal of happiness around me when I was young, and but independently of that, music could totally transform that and change that, and could actually, I found that music could actually influence your frame of mind and your mood, and could actually help you change mental mental positionings, so to speak. Like, you can use music to help bring you up if you're down, and vice versa. And I was just always amazed by music's ability to do that. And when I say music, I mean that in the purest of contexts, because for me, music was always about the music itself. To me, vocals were just which is another instrument. Most people were treating vocals like what was the very lead front of the band, and the band was just paid monkeys or hired goons or something like that, just there to help out. And I was lucky as well when I was young, from the perspective of well, as you know, taste in music is subjective, but as far as I'm concerned, I was lucky from the perspective of my old man and his brother as well. They had very decent taste in music, so I got to experience early on in life what music could really be, as opposed to just the 3-minute 33 radio friendly unit shifters. They churn out these days. So for me, music was the first place of happiness that I found in life. And so it came very precious and very sacred to me early on in life, and it got me through some pretty hard times at times. And all through my life growing up, not just when I was a kid, but when I was younger as well. And my old man also, he played guitar as well. He wasn't in bands or anything like that, but he used to play rugby. Excuse me. My old man used to play rugby with a team of lads made up of mainly of Maoris and Islanders and Tongans, and really big boys. And my old man's like 5'4", small frame, small frame. Even on a good day, and he used to get tiny guys to go there and smash on with with the biggest of them. But because of those nationalities, and the majority being Maoris from New Zealand, which are very big on, I don't know if you've heard them, they're called hungis. Basically what it is they dig a big hole in the ground, and heat up coals and things in the fire and things like that, and put them down on the base, and get things like potatoes and wrap them up in vegetables and stuff like that. And basically it's an underground oven, and if you haven't had one before, you really got to have one. It is just it is something else again. But Maoris were big on hungis, and apparently they're also big on sitting around drinking lots and lots of beer and picking up acoustic guitars and playing sing-alongs. So I used to go along with my old man when we used to play rugby. Mainly for I hate to say, sorry, Dad, but mainly for the afterwards, mainly for the feed, and the hospitality and the sense of community and the sing, song, wine and all that, and they were good boys, and they knew how to enjoy themselves in that, and so everything that I'd seen in music early on in life just always said to me, music is a good thing, and not just for me, but for everybody. And if people understood that correctly and used it correctly, they'd be able to take a lot more control in their lives, as opposed to just being a bystander passenger or whatnot. But anyway, so yeah, my old man used to play guitar, and when I got into, when I was probably about 12, 13, 14, around about that age, I started developing my own sense and taste in music, based upon the music that was around at the time, and which was like, I hate to say, the mid '80s, but AC/DC were a band that was really big at the time, and that I was really into. And I used to go and buy all their records and that, and used to absolutely love AC/DC, and that just and that's when I first learned about the rock guitarist, the show guitarist, the dude with the 10 million miles an hour fingers everyone comes along to see. That's when I first started to learn about the guitar hero, so to speak, and being a young adolescent, pubescent, frustrated, misunderstood lad, that just was totally up my alley. So I got right into that, and that made me want to learn guitar even more. And funnily enough, one thing that I used to do, probably about 13 or 14 or something like that, because I used to love AC/DC so much. And my old man had this a Les Paul guitar that he'd been sitting around ever since I can ever remember being alive. Basically, it was this black Les Paul, and he'd had it for years and years and years, and never played it. And I used to get that guitar, and when he wasn't around, because of course I couldn't play when he was around. And when he wasn't around, I get that guitar. I get my sister. She comes into my room, and I get that guitar, and I put on an AC/DC tape, and then I'd start jumping around doing the whole air guitar thing, but not air guitar, because I actually had a real guitar in my hands, and because being a natural born actor, and I always try and make everything seem as convincing as possible. So I tried to make my hands look like they were making the right movements, and every once in a while hit the right note, so to give it something, a little level of authenticity. And she used to absolutely love it. She'd sit around for ages, bawling her head off, having an absolute ball watching me run around doing mime to AC/DC, and so that was my first experience with being a rock guitarist and having an audience, singular tense of audience, being, and so that just drove me even further and made me want to learn this mystical chick pulling art, even more so. So that was it. I decided, yep, that's it. I know what I want to do with my life. I've been thinking about it all my life. It's all led to this. I know this now. It all begins now. I'm going to go to, I've made my mind up. I'm going to go to my old man. I'm going to say, Dad, I've come to you finally to ask you to teach me to learn to play guitar. I'm ready. It's my thing. I'm ready to do it. Impart me with some wisdom, brother. I'm so psyched. And then thinking that he'd be so psyched as well, thinking, I want to do something that was at least following in his footsteps. Absolutely psyched, could hardly keep the smile on my face when I said it to him. And I said, Dad, will you finally teach me guitar? I said, the biggest smile on my face. He turned around and looked at me and he's gone, no. And I paused. I was literally in shock. I didn't see that one coming. So I thought about it for a second. I said, why not? Why wouldn't you teach me? He said, for one very simple reason, and one reason alone. And I said, well, what's that? He said, because I don't believe that you would be learning it for the right reasons. What? I'd spent my entire life thinking about this and crafting this and feeling like my entire life journey was all leading to get to this one point. And then it all happened. And we stomped on the idea is a matter of milliseconds after it left my mouth. And that was a big blow. That was a big blow to me. Fortunately, on the other side of the ranch, when I started to develop my own taste in music for the first time, one of the other bands that I first loved when I was a young teen was Led Zeppelin, actually. And one for Jimmy Page and his songwriting, guitar work, which is absolutely amazing. But as most people know, for John Bonham, an absolutely amazing drummer. And the reason that I'd taken up drums as well was basically a matter of necessity. I got to the point where I really desperately wanted to learn a musical instrument, just anything at this point in time. And I come to realise that with drums, you didn't actually need to have a drum kit to learn how to play drums. You can actually learn the mechanics and the synchronicity. Without a drum kit, you don't need it at all. So technically, in theory, you could sit there and learn how to drum without a drum kit for 2, 3, 4, several years. And then when you actually finally say to buy a drum kit, you'd be absolutely freaking awesome. Long-term investment. To me, that's what it seemed like. So I started learning to play drums because you didn't need an instrument to learn it. So I figured that to be a pretty big safe one. But so I went back to focusing on that blow to my aspiring dreams. My dad made me go back to learning, going to focusing on the drums, and which I did. And then not long after that, I ended up getting kicked out of home, and then not long after that, my drum kit ended up getting stolen because I didn't have anywhere of my own to put it. And so, as far as I knew, I was back to square one now. No guitar abilities, no drum kit. Wow. Okay, let's see. I thought, okay, first things first. I should probably start saving up for another drum kit. Okay, if I want to be a drummer, it would be good to have a drum kit. Alright, so I focused on that. But at the same time, I thought, well, that's going to take me a while. So then I thought, well, but I still want to do something musical in the meantime. Like, I don't know, expand my horizons some more. So then I thought, well, guitar. I always loved guitar first. So just because my old man said no to me and bruised my ego and my conscience for a little while. Doesn't mean I can't dust myself off and start again. So basically that's what I did. And at that time I was living with my nan in Black Rock, and she had a boarder staying with her, and he heard about my her situation, and he said to me, he said, I've got a 3/4 size guitar that I've been sort of sitting around a friend's place for years. I haven't used it for ages. If you want a guitar to learn on, you can have that if you want. I'll give it to you for a present. And I said, yeah, that would be absolutely awesome. That was like, wow, that somebody giving me a musical instrument. Wow. So so he did, and it was only a 3/4 size acoustic acoustic, three-quarter size acoustic guitar. But naturally, me being me, after I played a few basic chords, I immediately went on to trying to learn to play lead solos and stuff like that. But, I ended up growing up and getting out of that phase, thankfully. But so I kept playing guitar and I kept getting better at it, and I don't think I ended up getting another drum kit actually, because all of my attentions got focused back into guitar. So that's what I did, and I had 2 or 3 friends that were like pretty much lifelong friends that I'd grown up with as well, and because we all like that sort of way, was sharing what I knew about music with them, which in turn I was teaching them music, which was sparking their creativity, and we used to experiment around with recording all sorts of strange things, like from when we were kids, like from so young, we used to. We were kind of pioneering in a way some of the recording techniques that we'd discovered just by absolute fluke, which were quite amazing if they actually existed to this day, but they don't. But we used to muck around with creating all sorts of very, very bizarre music. We were very strange kids, and we had very strange minds, and we made some very, very strange music. But it was definitely extraordinarily creative. Like whichever way you look at it, whether you liked it or not, most people wouldn't have. But we were very, very talented and ahead of our time. But what were we doing? And through all my life, basically, I was given absolutely nothing, and anything that I wanted, I had to basically either go without or somehow make myself. Music was one of those things, and funnily enough, I actually taught myself. But God, how young would I have been? I can't remember. Probably about 12 or 13. But I'd actually discovered myself how to create multi-track recordings just using 2 normal cassette decks that use normal old school cassettes. If you actually even remember what they are, some of you won't. But I figured out how to taught myself how to do multi-track recordings, and what I do is I get one tape deck, and I'd press record on that, and I'd play, say for instance, the guitar for a song, and record that onto a tape, and then I get that tape out and put that tape into a second tape deck, and then I'd put another tape into the one that I just took out to record on. So what I'd do is I'd press record on the new tape and then press play on the other tape, so the new tape was recording what the old tape had on it, plus I'd also play another guitar over the top of it as well, so that added another additional instrument to it, so now there's 2 instruments on there. Now you can just keep doing this, you can keep going backwards and forwards and doing it again and again and again, but the more times that you do it, the more audio degradation that occurs. You only have to overdub 3, 4, 5 times before there's a noticeable drop in the quality of the sound, and especially in the upper ranges and in the higher notes. You start to lose all of the treble and all the high end. It starts to become all mid and low ends. And once I discovered that limitation, well, to me nothing's ever a limitation, because I always figure a way around anything and everything. And how I figured a way around that was that I went out and bought an old school component graphic equalizer, 10 band stereo graphic equalizer, which had 20 bands ultimately all up. And what I'd do is I'd I'd run the tape that was being recorded on through that. So it oh jeez, lost my train of thought. Oh god, it was so unprofessional now. Oh no, that's right. I'd get the tape deck, and I'd run that tape deck through the graphic equalizer. And then into the amplifier, and put all of the all of the high end and treble up on the equalizer, so the signal comes through the tape player all dirty and muddy, and that run through the equalizer, which would have all the treble turned up, all the bass turned down, so that would tweak the sound. That would tweak the sound a little bit to make up for the audio degradation from continually overdubbing. Crazy, huh? But yeah, I discovered that all by myself, because I had no other way of being able to record my own music apart from just doing what every other person can't be bothered doing, and just getting a microphone and just doing one track and that's it. I've never been at music. I've never been able to settle for just what's what is just passable. I just I push myself mentally to really hard when it comes to creating music and that. But yeah, so so I finally learned instruments, got to experiment with my friends, discovered how to create multi-track recordings, and then I got a bit older and moved to the Blue Mountains in New South Wales, and that's when I first, in my mind, truly became a musician, so to speak. That's when my musical career first really started, and that was mid 90s, and I was very active in the musical scene around Coomera and Blue Mountains around that period. And I actually got to the point where I was one of the most well-known musical figures in the Blue Mountains, and because of that, I got to work with basically anybody that I wanted in the Blue Mountains, and it was absolutely great. And that's when I first discovered. That's when I first discovered my style of songwriting as well, and also when I considered to be the actual first real song that I wrote was when not long after I moved to the Blue Mountains, which is luckily enough, which is a song that I'll be doing for this album in the not too distant future, in the next one, two or three songs, and you'll be totally blown away, considering it was what I consider my first song. You'd be very surprised that. But that's one I'm going to be redoing for this. But so I've worked with people in the Blue Mountains, and it became the hottest thing around there and that, and I had to I fucked up. I all went to my head. Got a drug addiction, and I left. I just had to leave. I just had to leave. So I came down to Melbourne, which should be in '99, and now I've been down here most of that time, not the entire time, but most of the time, and apart from the work that I've done with PRs and people previous, some people that I worked with back in Blue Mountains were quite big names, and some of the people that I worked with also went on and become big names within their own rights, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy for them. But for me, getting a band together and getting this whole show mobile, so to speak, is is something that I am actually going to do this time, as opposed to previous times with other solo albums I've done. But this time, no, I'm putting on the whole show this time. But this is going to be everything. This is just I'm just going to throw absolutely everything I've got at this, and it's going to be it's going to be really something. Where were we? When I do my solo albums, I mean that from the purest of contexts. The albums that I do, nobody has touched any of these songs in any way, shape or form. Had anything to do with them or any influence on them or anything. All the songs that I write and record are me playing all the instruments. I write all the songs, I play all of the instruments, I do all of the producing, I do all of the engineering, I do the mastering. I do absolutely everything. That's all 100% me. Every single iota of everything I do is me and nothing but me. And I love that. I love being able to do that, because at the end of the day, I'm not in the scene to be big in the scene. I'm just in the scene to make music that makes me happy, to make music that I want to listen to. And luckily enough, as time's gone on, I've gotten really good at learning how to do that. So that's let's see, that's about where we're up to now, I think. But yeah, everything on all these albums, it's all me. This time I'm also, as you can see, I'm playing with some video ideas as well, video diaries, and I'm probably trying to work on making some sort of film clips to songs as well. And on this album as well, I'm actually looking at, a lot of my long-time listeners won't believe this, but there's going to be vocals on this album. We're doing vocals this time. It'll probably mainly me. I've got a few friends I've been talking with that are very keen to get involved, but they'll have to prove to me how much they want to work for it before they can do it. But So this time around, we're going to video media to go with things. We'll put a band together and take the whole thing on the road as a band. Do film clips. I'm also writing the website, which is still in the progress of being done. My DamonStone.com, which will be the central housing for all my different media aspects and outlets and links, and you'll see it's gonna be something else. So I'm writing all of that myself. I'm writing the source code for that myself. I'm also a computer programmer. So not only am I doing all the individual aspects of the musical components, but I'm also going to be in charge of all the IT work, programming, networking, website, interactivity, payment portals, social media, chat. Management as well. I'm managing, trying to be my taskmaster and manage all the process myself as well. Really, got my work cut out for me this time, but that's what I want to do, and that's what I've got to do, and because of how ultimately the significance of this album is. It's where it's coming from is something else totally altogether from anything that I've ever done before, and what this album is about, and why the short name of the album is Volume 4, but ultimately the full title of the album is Volume 4, Jacob's Album. The significance of that I'll go into in another episode. That's another piece for another time. But yeah, so that's me. That's been my life in music. That's what's led me to where I am, and that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing now, and yeah, that's all I can think to say about all of that now. So if you're still here and still listening to me, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying not to be at least repetitious. Got a bit of a habit of doing that. But anyway, so that's me. I'm Damon Stone. That's what's music to me, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, y'all.